learning is making new synaptic connections, then if you keep firing the same thoughts over and over again, you're going to wire them in your brain. So then if learning is making new synaptic connections, then remembering is maintaining them. And all of a sudden, they develop a long-term relationship. And just like any relationship, the more you communicate, the more they connect. And neurons are exactly the same way. Now, as you begin to learn information, neurons tend to assemble themselves into networks, or what's called neural networks. And neural networks are just gangs of neurons that have fired and wired together to form a community of neurosynaptic connections that's related to a thought, a skill, a habit, a behavior, a concept. And neural networks are automatic programs. You have a neural network to brush your teeth, to put on makeup, to speak a language, to walk. All of a sudden, those neurons then form a hardware circuitry, but if you keep repeating it, the hardware becomes a software program and it becomes automatic. So then, you want to see a thought? Watch. Boom, there's a thought. Right there. Watch again. Boom, that's a thought. You generate more electrical impulses in your brain in one day than all the cell phones on the planet put together. And it's not coming from the candy bar you just ate. You are connected to a greater field. So then, in closing, and I'll take some questions, you are here this week to begin to understand knowledge and information that is essential for you to begin to apply. Knowledge is power, but knowledge about yourself is self-empowerment. And we are in a time in the world where we need leaders. And true leadership has to do with a vision of the future. As the old models begin to break down in government, in the economy, in religion, in education, in the environment, in medicine, something new has to be created. And we should never shrink from these models collapsing. It's a sign that something greater has to happen. Innovation, creation, invention is our future. And that, are you willing to every day revisit that vision and get clear on your purpose and begin to take steps towards that destiny and give up the emotions of the past that keep you enslaved to the same person? Step into that unknown and literally believe in possibility. And Buckminster Fuller said it the best. He said, if you want to change a culture, forget about trying to fix what's broken. Create something that's better, and everybody will leave that and go to something else. And so people around the world are waking up because we are in an age of information. And in an age of information, ignorance is a choice. Learn, study, change, apply, and meet the challenges in your life with a greater level of mind. Surely somebody has faced the same things that you have and have overcome them. And if learning is making those connections, every time you learn, you are preparing your brain for the future. But be willing to be original. Be willing to be defined by that vision or that dream. And if every day you keep it alive, sooner or later, that experience or that vision is going to find you. And that's when we go from being selfish to being selfless. And that's when we give people permission in our lives to follow us, because we are no longer talking about it, we're living it. So I will do a few minutes of questions. If anybody has any questions, you can give the mic to the people that are standing up. I'll let the mic runners pick the people.
first of all, thank you for your speech. It was terrific. Thank you.
You're welcome.
And second question. Did you have any experience, any personal experience about this speech? I mean, were you living in a past life, and suddenly you realized that you have to live in the future? It was tough to do that.
Are you talking about a past life in this life or a past life in another life?
No, I mean when you were child, you are living in a past life, or I think you were angry, you were some kind of defects, and suddenly, and I can imagine, I can guess that before you do the picture, and what fuck do you know?
Okay, I understand. I understand. I never planned on doing any of this. In 1986, I was in a triathlon in Palm Springs, California, and I was on my bicycle, and I was making a turn to pass some cyclists. And as I made the turn to pass the cyclists, I got run over by a truck. And I broke 6 vertebrae in my spine, and I had bone fragments on my spinal cord. And the doctors, 4 experts, told me I would never walk again and I would be paralyzed. So in order for some people to wake up, they need a wake-up call. And that was my call. I decided against the surgery, a radical surgery where they take out the entire back part of my spine and screw in these rods. I decided against the surgery in 1986, and I thought, I'm not going anywhere, I'm not doing anything. Let's see if I can heal this with my mind. Now, nobody at this time had any idea that it was even possible. As a matter of fact, the doctors thought I hit my head on the ground and that I had a head injury, because nobody said no to them. But you know, when you're trying to create something like a miracle, you will always be considered a fool or insane, because nobody else is doing what you're doing. It's unconventional. It's outside the beliefs of a culture. But if you pull it off, you'll be considered a saint, a holy man, a genius, a mystic.